All right. Hey, Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem Rakakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of great millstone, and as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to all you Akim out there who pushing his word with all truth and sincerity, and as well as to all you believers out there who believing on the gospel. And it's a couple of brothers from the Great Millstone Houston camp, from the brother Coral Abad. And as always, we got the beloved Elder Tazapah as well. And
Shalom.
Dawadi Hawbat Khan, and Dawadi Hawbat Shima Shai for blessing us with another opportunity to come forth and bring forth this news, information, and like we call it or know it as prophecy, and there's a lot happening in the world, and the mainstream news not going to touch on this information. So that's why it's important to seek after those who have the secrets or the insight on what's truly going on, who see past the smoke and mirrors, man. But tonight the topic, it says Thursday Live, all roads lead to chaos and an MOTB. But before we hop into it, Elder Tazapah, if you have anything, the floor is yours.
No, we can get right into it.
Okay, Khan. And then
It's a lot going on, you know, and it's hard to keep up with it. And there's no way you could just touch on everything, but you know, it's a sign of the times, like you like to bring up from time to time, the zeitgeist, you know, but the zeitgeist is prophecy, which is the testimony of our Lord and our Savior, Yahweh Shah Mashiach. All right. So with that being said, let's get to the prophecy.
Let's get it. And Shalom to all the Akim Akwath that's tuning in. Yahweh Shemal Shai Brakathon.
Shalom, Akyam,
Abaja, Shalom, GMS Royal Priesthood, the brother Daniela, Kavya, see our brothers, Labad, Lamar, Shalom Akim. Hey, come with them precepts, you all got them. But we'll hop straight into it. And this will be the first article right here. And this come from the Elder Bro Bakwash out here in the Houston camp. He sent this in a group chat the other day. And we thought it would be good to start with this because everything it say in his first paragraph is literally what we seeing happening or it will happen. So it's from the website called classautonomy.info. And is the title of the article says, "A Cascading Collapse. America at the Edge of a Systemic Breakdown." And that's exactly what we're seeing. And that's why all roads lead to chaos and the MOTB. Meaning no matter which way Esau go, which he try to fake you this way, Trump telling you it ain't gonna ever be a CBDC, and all these different things that these people are saying, at the end of the day, no matter what they do as far as false flags or putting in your face, is gonna lead to chaos and all hell breaking loose in America and the market, the MOTB, the digital system.
That's right.
But I read this first paragraph and we can move on. So it says, as autumn 2025 begins, the United States stand on a precipice of a systemic transformation or a collapse. System science, world events, and contemporary warnings about war, climate change, and resource depletion offer a lens to interpret this moment. Real world facts, job losses, government shutdown, food prices surges, mass farm bankruptcies, bond market distrust, and deep institutional fractures, geopolitical threats, and planetary limits sharpen the picture, revealing not just theoretical risks, but lived and looming catastrophe, man. And that's exactly the time we're in. Everything that just named plus more that it did name is literally going on right now as we speak, or is in the process of happening. And a lot of people get caught off guard because they waiting on Fox News to tell them, CNN to tell them. They're not paying attention to the signs. But you're about to say something, Elder Tazapah?
No, I'm just agreeing. Yeah. The government shutdown is still going on. People still, I think they got their last check this week sometime, either on the 15th, but I heard the 20th. They would get their last money. So somewhere this week, all right, for the government workers that was laid off. So they getting their last money for a minute. Now they say that I don't know, they supposed to get their regular money and get get paid up when the government come back online. But the whole thing is, which I should have thought about in the first place, because like I say, they do this every year with this shutdown. But I didn't factor in, well, we go into a digital system. So it's not going to be resolved till the Fed now and the stable coin is online, pretty much. That's what it's looking like.
Yep.
All right. That they're not going to, bring the government or fund the government. I mean, why would they? When they're going to fund it, they're going to fund it with cryptocurrency.
Mm-hmm.
Or with the stable coin. They're not going to fund it with Federal Reserve note. For this next fiscal year where we already in it. But yeah, we getting ready to look at a MOTB real soon.
That's right.
That's what's holding up this government shutdown, because they do this every so often, and they say, oh, it's a government shutdown, and then before October is over, they back everything business as usual.
Right, the day before the deadline, they make a deal.
Right, or before the deadline, right. And so now, I think the deadline is going to be the digital system.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what everything is coming to, and that's what that article that you just read. Could you go through that list, a few of them things right quick?
Con, I got you. It says, as autumn 2025 begins, the United States stand on the precipice of systemic transformation or collapse.
Okay, systemic transformation. All right, and it's going to come through collapse. But right, it's a transformation of the entire system. It's going to be brought about through controlled collapse of the economy. All right, and they're going to let chaos ensue. All right, but as you already see, it's chaos on several fronts, on many fronts right now. All right, so you got the chaos in the financial arena, and the chaos in the political realm with what's going on with the ICE situation. But yeah, go ahead.
Con, I wanted to read a quick precept. This computer working slow. I'm gonna just read it on my phone real quick.
All right.
And I know we read this last week, but again, this is the spirit of the times. This Second Ezra chapter 15, and this going into that the nations, as they get closer to World War III, they're gonna forget about the old way of governing. They're gonna forget about treaties. They're gonna forget about the Constitution. They're gonna forget about the old paperwork. Now everybody moving towards a digital system, and that fight to see who go win a race in the digital system, that's going to bring everybody to World War III and chaos happening. Let's get out the scriptures. This Second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 14, and I'm going to read it in the GNT. It says, the world and the people in it are doomed. The war that will bring their destruction is very near. World War III. It says, nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. And it's the point. And there will be great political turmoil, with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. Now, when you go into the word legitimate, it goes into conforming to the laws, to the set laws. The point is, America, Russia, countries don't care about what the laws that was set. They trying to go to the next phase, man. That's why you see, and we'll play some videos in a few, but a lot of nations are dropping that dollar or and going digital, or they beginning a digital ID in their lands, man. Nobody playing no more. It's a race. You got it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
go ahead.
No, you was in the middle of finish with your thought.
Now I was about to say it's a race. It's a race to see who will be the leader, and we'll play a video in a few. And the dude gonna say from the World Economic Forum that America falling and all nations trying to race to see who will be the next ruler in a digital system. But that was it.
No, but right. That's what's going on right here in Babylon. And you talk about ignoring the legitimate government.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're doing away with the Constitution. The Constitution is the format for legitimate government. And you got the right and the left, both, destroying the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, and they both vying for power. And the thing is, the Spirit had you read that, But you hear people, they take up these talking points as if they are right or left, or as if they're Republican or Democrat. And you got to have an identity. You do. That's why people. This is my point. You hear people say, "Oh, you voted for him. That's your president." And the thing is, where are the Democrats? They ain't, it should be that screen, just all that damn near brawls breaking out in Congress. It should be, I mean, where are the filibusters? Ain't nobody speaking out against the tyranny. And they just going straight to, sending the National Guard and let's do this and do that. But nothing is being done legitimately.
Right. That's right.
There's no arguments being had in Congress. Congress been null and void. But I'm just pointing this out that why people are not seeing this. People cannot think logically and critically because they act as if it's Trump. But where are the Democrats? Who's speaking up? You vote to have representation, not to say, "Oh, look what you voted for. Look what your president did." You vote for representation. Where is the representation? And Jimmy Dore brought this out. Marjorie Taylor Greene is the only one speaking up on behalf of the people. That this shit out here is fucked up. I ain't seen too many others. You know, I seen Adam Schiff. I think it's Adam, but Senator Schiff, and he was going at Pam Bondi on some shit that, some other shit that's going on with the border czar taking bribes before he got to be the border czar. He was already corrupt, took a bribe from a federal agent, and Senator Schiff was asking Pam Bondi about that, and they don't answer questions. And so, as an American, y'all shouldn't be at each other, but this is the zeitgeist. Y'all need to be taking pitchforks and torches to the goddamn, well, then that'll just get co-opted and taken over. But the people wasting their energies going at one another. The corruption is bipartisan, and the proof is who's speaking out against the tyranny legitimately. They'll make these little earshots, these little clips, and they'll say little shit, and that's just to appease you. There should be actions taking place in Congress with, but you know, that's for the people. Me personally, I love it, but why people going at each other, because Trump he duped everybody, and people say, "Oh, I didn't believe Trump." You was just going on some racist shit. Oh, Trump is a racist. Oh, is he more racist than Joe Biden? Just a little bit more, or is just a little bit less? They're all racist. Jake wasn't talking about politics. Jake wasn't talking about issues and looking into shit. And so here y'all are. It's like y'all didn't look into the prophets. They'll look at the outside, and again, they'll get these earshots, and them niggas they don't know what they talking about. And you don't look into it. Now you cornered and about to be checkmated. And then our people don't have they don't have any help. But yeah, brother, I just when you read that verse, brother, you know, Salaki for getting long-winded, but it just made me think of the climate here in America, and everybody's at each other's throat behind these wicked and corrupt ass politicians, and they need to be taking the heat to them motherfuckers. But we know they not, because prophecy. Again, I understand, but just logically speaking, you know, this shit makes no sense. But you got it.
Now that's it. That's spot on. I'll read a little bit more of this precept, and that'll take us be a good segue into the videos we're about to play. So again, as nations pulling away, as Elder Tyler Power was going into from the old way of doing things, and now they're going digital, that's going to lead to chaos and World War III. And that's what we're seeing. I read it again. 2 Ezra 15 and 16 in the GNT. There will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. And since that's
And the
going to happen,
Constitution is the legitimate government that gives the rights to the people. The government don't run this shit. It wasn't designed like that. It was designed for the people to run the government. All right. So this shit been rogue so long that people don't even recognize that it's rogue. But this shit been going on where the people serving the government instead of the government or your elected officials who you elect to represent you serving you. But go ahead.
yep. And because they go get away from the natural way of doing things, it says, and because of that, verse 17, and there will no longer be free access to the cities. And that's what Trump doing already.
And here we are, 15-minute cities and all this. Yeah, go ahead.
He already sending in troops, and he didn't really get a lot of these things approved first. He just did it.
So he's just doing it. Yep. He's ignoring legitimate government. Right. Go ahead.
It says, and there will no longer be free access to the cities because, this is the reason why, because the struggle for power will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion wherever people live. Hard times coming because the government, they about to race for a digital system. So therefore, in order for that to be fully set up within their nation, they got to get their people in order. And what that means for the people? Hard times, surveillance, a lack of. And that's why I say it, because
you said that. Get ready for lack. It's going to be a lot of lack. But go ahead,
Yep, it says because the struggle for power will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion wherever people live, driven by, so this is what it's going to be called. This is what's going to cause it. Driven by famine and terrible suffering. Terrible suffering, man. It says, and people will assault their neighbors and mercilessly plunder their possessions. And you will show a few things that's the time we're coming into. Esau already setting the stage for the people to be against the government and the government to come against the people. And in these next few videos and articles we'll read, Esau, now we know it's all propaganda, right? It's all propaganda, but what he doing, he tried to make it seem like ICE soldiers are being threatened, right? Like ICE soldiers are scared for their lives, you know, that their life on the line because the citizens of the world are now coming against the ICE agents. You know, and we'll get into it, but now they're saying, well, now we need to kind of ramp up ICE and help a little more. Guess what? More troops. More troops. But we'll get into this first video. This from Dabu 7. This was put out 1 day ago. It says, state of emergency declared in Los Angeles County. All hell broke out in Boston. Premeditated attack. Now, mind you, get ready to see a lot of so-called premeditated or attacks or terror IST attacks. They're going to force something to happen, man. Like, let me I gotta switch the page, the sound on the page. Forgive me, I'm using a new laptop. Share screen. Here we go. All right, here we go.
Oh, Zaquan was in there.
Chicago.
What'd you say, Zaquan?
My bad. Yeah, I was saying Shalom to the Zaquan. Yashawamba, I saw he had chimed in.
Okay, Kanye, Yahweh Bashma Shabrakatah. I see the Elder Abaja put, he said, I read in a news source that 75,000 federal workers will not receive back pay, but we'll see. See?
Okay, cool. That's good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. Because I heard they was going to get that back pay, but shit, That's even better.
That's right.
Yeah, lack. Lack is that's the word for the day. Lack.
Like the YN saying Chicago catch it lacking.
Yeah, lacking. Yeah.
All right, guys, we've got
Okay.
action all across the country. We know about Portland.
I play it back. He said, "It's action across the country. Remember, this it's forced action to give Esau the go ahead or green light to move on you people even more, man."
All right, guys, we've got action all across the country. We know about Portland, Chicago, and Memphis has made the list as well. But now, LA County declaring a state of emergency over the ICE raids. This is really where it all began outside of D.C. Trump sent in
Can you hear it? Can you hear it?
I do.
Okay.
National Guard troops and Marines, and then a federal judge said that he broke the Posse Comitatus Act in doing so. They were pulled out of that area, but then more strike teams sent in, and these ICE raids continuing throughout the area. They're now saying that people that are behind in rent because of these enforcement actions, that they've got this program that people can get in, but some others are very ticked off because they're saying they're using taxpayer-funded money to do this. In some instances, illegals still getting protection and housed with this money is what others are saying. And state of emergency declared there in LA County, and it could spread to any other area around there. We've seen with Memphis, they sent strike teams into Memphis, but it's not just Memphis that they're looking at. They're looking at across the state line into Mississippi as well, where the sheriff said he's going to stand for the people, okay? The sheriff just came out up in Portland and said the same thing, that they're going to stand for the people, and that if strike teams come there, then their people, their National Guard, are going to be used against those strike teams. That's right. That's because they're using their National Guard first. If you allow Trump, the feds, to come in and snatch up your boys and girls and send them off to do whatever, then they're doing whatever that they order them to do. If the state steps up and uses them first, then you've got first dibs. And you can order them to do what you want them to do, which is how it's supposed to work anyway. I mean, none of the troops should be using any of their duties to arrest people or anything like that per Posse Comitatus, but they're circumventing that. Now we shift over to places like Boston, where all hell has broke loose. They're calling this a premeditated attack. This shows that it was highly organized, over 100 people unleashing chaos in the Boston.
Now I want to stop it because they said these things are premeditated. Now the next video and articles we show, they saying that the cartels are now paying people to attack ICE agents. But me, I call BS on that. I was watching the Elder Malcolm video earlier, and he was going into it. And he kept saying in this video, remember, that America kept saying that Iran and all of them had weapons of mass destruction. They still ain't find it. And he kept saying that in this video, but what he was getting at, they say stuff in the media to make you think it, but it ain't really happening. They doing it behind. They doing this, man. Esau is setting the stage with this. He gonna throw out attacks. He got this thing so the people could think that the cartels and citizens are against ICE. So the majority of people think ICE are being harmed. ICE soldiers are being harmed now. Therefore, they give them the green light. We need to send in more protection, more troops, more heavy artillery.
Yeah, and it's gonna galvanize those them good old boy type, them mercenary type, that's gonna rile them up too.
Well,
to get them more steam, to get that brown folk.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Azaquan, if I can add, I'm gonna cut you off, but they've been saying that the Facebook group or some groups that expose who are in ICE, what people are in ICE, their names, their address. Now it's been said you can't do that. But remember, a few months ago, it was said that you can get incentives, you can get your college debt paid off. All these things if you join ICE. So the thing is, now they're saying you can't tell the individual's personal information, But here's the thing: we don't know who signed up, what MAGA supporters signed up, what your next door neighbor signed up to be an ICE member because they can't get the information out now. So I'll go ahead and finish.
Yeah, and that's with AI emerging so fast, ICE is gonna be the only thing smoking in the form of employment. You know. But yeah, you got it out.
Bounty hunters
torching a police cruiser, hitting the officers with fireworks, cones, all of these felonies here. And it's like a riot-like assault. I can't see how Trump doesn't respond to this by saying, oh, we're going to send troops in there. It's too chaotic. We got to clean it up, just like he was saying with D.C. and everything.
Yeah, you go force it.
Everything else. So how manufactured are some of these events? It's time to pay attention. We've got it breaking loose in all of these cities. And again, it's organized.
Boom.
So from
we'll leave it right there. That's it on that one. We'll play this next one, right? Now this next one.
You heard that like eight people died in Mississippi over the homecoming in one day. Yeah, and I'm saying that to say Jake don't have a fucking clue as to what's going on
at all.
Jake's still in that same frame of mind, bro. They not preparing. They not. This day, the day of the Lord, is going to really come as a thief in the night.
Right.
But go ahead.
It's cool. You know, it reminded me of Jake back then during the Babylonian Empire when Ezekiel was prophesying against him. Now, this account is in Ezekiel 21 or 22. But you had Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon. He was on his way to see who he was going to go to war with. Not go to war, but go take over. And it was going to be, I think it was the Ammonites and Israel. And the Lord had him go towards Israel. Now, Nebuchadnezzar started setting up battering rams. This man started setting up troops. He started setting up, all the military. Yeah. And the scriptures say that Jake seen it. It says the Israelites seen that, mainly Judah at the time. It says they seen it. If a brother want to post, I think it's in Ezekiel 22 or 21. But it says they seen Nebuchadnezzar setting up military around them. It says, but they took it as a false omen because of a treaty with the Babylonians. Jake,
that's another tie to Babylon, though. This spiritual Babylon that we in right now.
That's
making the same spirit.
That's it.
But yeah, that's crazy.
Yep, they ain't taking it serious. Look, we see the military in your neighborhood, and you not taking it serious because you think you're American, because you black. No, we gonna sit this one out. Nah, get in the game now. You see? But if we'll play this next video. So this from Dabu again. It says cartels are offering up to $50,000 or 50K bounties for ICE agent assassinations, training to unleash drone war. Now, remember, it may be Esau killing these ICE agents. Remember, he's going to start to force things to make it go down. Like in that movie, The Purge, when it was the last Purge with Jake and Staten Island, I think, Coney Island. They weren't killing enough people that night of the Purge. What Esau did, he called in the mercenaries. He called in certain, well, not a day they would be, portrayed as MAGA supporters. He called them in and started killing people. We about to see Esau going to force his agenda. He ain't got a lot of time. I'll go ahead and play it.
All right, guys, we now have the Mexican cartels dropping threats, and we're getting some information now of what they're training to do and to use. Now, these threats here are along the lines of bounties being put on people's heads. As you can see here, 5,000 to 10,000 for kidnapping or non-lethal assaults is what the Mexican cartels are offering. This is per DHS. They have a $50,000 bounty for assassinations. And we're finding out that they have been sending cartel members to Ukraine to learn how to operate drones, attack drones to be specific. And this is going to change the drug war tactics forever. When it comes swarming in by the dozens, if not hundreds, on the border.
So the cartel will automatically have these high-powered drones, and you're a nigga with tattoos, a MS-13, Ishika, right, with tattoos all over his body, controlling a high-powered drone, right? Come on, man.
Border cities or anywhere from here on out. It's going to be part of a larger tactic to disrupt society. They're going to use these large scale. They've telegraphed it over and over again, and now they're warning that the cartels specifically are training to use these large scale. What can they hit? Just about anything. They can strap C4 to them and they can target any individual anywhere and hit anyone. We've seen it in Ukraine this entire time. I think it's time
Okay, I
people
know what
start
this is.
learning how.
Yeah, I know what this is. They just gonna be America's Hamas.
Yep. Boom. That's
That's what that sound like.
That's a good example of that.
No, that's what it sounds like. So whenever they want to go in somewhere, they'll have them and use them for an excuse, like they say, maybe fly a drone. Okay, the cartel right there, and then here come ICE. They'll probably use the cartel like what you call it. That's what it sounded like as a terrorist operation or group.
Yep.
But yeah, that's just me thinking. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna read this real quick. The brother Labad put that Ezekiel, him and Kaabia put it Ezekiel 21. The water I can let me see. This Ezekiel 21 going into how Esau setting up military around you Israelites, and y'all think it's a game. And it's not the first time this happened back then. We'll show y'all the people. This Ezekiel 21 and 21 in the NLT. It says the king of Babylon, which is Nebuchadnezzar, now stands at the fork in the road. So he was at a road and went to the left and to the right. He didn't know which way to go. It says uncertain whether to attack Jerusalem or Rabbah. He called his magicians to look for omens, and they cast lots by shaking arrows from the quiver. They inspect the livers of animal sacrifices. So he had his guards, shake the arrows, and whatever way the arrow pointed, that's the way we go attack. Check it out. Verse 22. So the omen in his right hand says Jerusalem. That's who the Lord wanted him to attack. And guess what? The same thing will happen today. The Lord wants Esau to come after Jacob. That's why it's called Jacob's trouble. And Jacob ain't taking it serious. It says the omen in his right hand says Jerusalem with battering rams. His soldiers will go against the gates, shouting for the kill. They will put up siege towers and build ramps against the walls. So in other words, pretty much martial law being formed. Your city being locked down. Troops being sent out. And guess how Jake responded? Verse 23, and the people of Jerusalem will think it is a false omen. Ain't gonna take it serious. Oh, they ain't done for us. They ain't here for us. It says the people of Jerusalem will think it is a false omen because of their treaty with the Babylonians. See, they thought that the Babylonians was good with them, because they were willing to, bow down. No, they don't care about that. They don't care if you was a Trump supporter. They don't care, man. If you was born here, if you black and you not a legal, they don't care.
That's right.
It says, but the king of Babylon will remind the people of their rebellion, then he will attack and capture them. Come on, man. But that was it on Nezaquan. You had something before we get in this article right here?
Okay, no, we can get into it.
Okay, Con. So we just played the video that they trying to pay. They saying that the cartels are paying people to come against ICE. Well, as we know, if it's a problem, Esau got the solution. So now the Department of Homeland Security, this was put out today on shtlplan.com. It says the Department of Homeland Security warns against doxing of ICE agents. So now the government saying, oh, y'all want to come against our ICE agents? It's going to be repercussions for that. So they put this thing out that the cartels want to harm the ICE agents. Now they back down with the Department of Homeland Security saying, oh, if y'all want to do that, we're going to respond. It's all made up. That's what they're trying to do in the first place. Let's read it. And I got that word doxing too. Let me read it real quick. I got it on ChatGPT. I said doxing definition. It says doxing, also known as same thing, it's just 2 X's or 1 X. It says mean publicly revealing someone's private or identifying information such as their real name, address, phone number, workplace, or family details without their consent, usually to harass, threaten, or harm them. So all of a sudden, a cartel, as they say, coming out and they say we want to harm ICE agents. So now the government, Department of Homeland Security said, I wish y'all would. It says the Department of Homeland Security has warned against doxing of ICE agents. It is also promised that it would prosecute those who threaten ICE officers and their families, citing a 1,000% increase in assaults. In other words, they're going to take it there. It says, like everyone else, our law enforcement officers just want to go home to their families at night. The department said in its post on X on October 4th. And they also said, if you dox, threaten, or lay hands on our officers, mind you, think about what they just put out with the cartel. So now the American minds think it's the cartel who will do it when it's just Esau behind the scenes forcing things. Just so they can say this. Now, if you dox, threaten, or lay hands on our officers, we will prosecute you to the fullest extent to the law. Everyone, including the innocent people, will be harassed and violently removed and wants to go home to their families. ICE is instigating violence against otherwise peaceful people most of the time. So fighting back could be considered self-defense. And it goes on. And it said a couple of things. But the point is, now they setting laws against that. You can't touch no ICE agent. You ain't gonna do that. And if you do, we're gonna respond back. And we've been going into the Department of Defense, or formerly the Department of Defense, now the Department of War. They said if you do anything against our local police officers and they can't handle you, or people like ICE agents, then we're going to have to send out troops and they're going to have the right to use lethal force. And we put up that documentary for like the past 2 or 3 weeks advertised upon this Thursday Live, that they need a reason to send in troops so they could use lethal force. It's already signed off, man. Already signed off.
Yeah. And this Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. So yeah, he was talking about, punishing people to the full extent of the law. What law? What law? The Constitution is null and void. And Gerald Salente was saying that. What rights? But yeah, the Bill of Rights, all of that. What law are you talking about? So here we are. We in full tyranny. They doing shit. They really behaving as anarchists, but they gonna punish you to the full extent of the law. Ain't that a bitch?
Crazy.
An anarchist is one without law. And the scripture calls him lawless. I think the scripture calls him lawless.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's we here at this time, this is judgment. They're gonna tell you, you gotta let my agents do whatever they want to you, and you can't do nothing back. Yeah, that's wild. And then you just gonna make up some laws to punish what laws? And this is frightening people. Just like them doing away with habeas corpus. When they arrest, detain you, and carry you off into their custody, where are you going? Where's ICE taking people?
Right.
I hadn't heard anything on that, but you got it out.
I just want to read this because you said the lawless one going into Esau. I got the NIV version of 2 Thessalonians 2. It's 2 Thessalonians 2:8 in the NIV. It says, because I said, and then show that wicked be revealed.
Right.
The NIV,
okay.
Yeah, 2 Thessalonians 2:8 in the NIV, it says, and then shall the lawless one be revealed, whom the Lord will overthrow with the breath of his mouth and destroy by the splendor of his coming. The coming of the lawless one will be in accordance with how Satan works. He will use all sorts of displays of power through signs and wonders that serve a lie. And all the ways of the wickedness deceive those who are perishing. They will perish because they receive to love the truth and so be saved. Come on, man. That's it. The law
Man,
is
that's heavy. Yeah. That's heavy. And that describes everything that's going on. What this devil is doing. You know? But yeah, brother, that was it. You got it.
kind of. We could begin to wind it
Those
down.
these unrighteous decrees, they're gonna be caught with the pants down.
Yep.
But you got it. Go ahead.
They already got their pants down. They caught the pants off.
Right? Yeah. That's true.
But we could begin to wind it down. We'll hit on because it says all paths lead to chaos and the MOTB. So this is the chaos part. We see no way, no matter which way it go, what Esau say, all hell will break loose. And I want to point this out real quick because on top of Esau pushing out propaganda, making himself and ICE agents and America seem like the victims, this is something else that's going on that just happened yesterday, right? So it says from End Time Headlines, it says pro-Hamas hackers hijack airport loudspeakers across North America, spewing anti-Trump and Netanyahu slurs causing delays. So if you see on the screen, it was said that in airports all across America yesterday that somehow, some way, somebody hacked the intercom and started talking noise about Trump, Netanyahu, so on and so forth, and stuff like on the screen is what popped up. It says small hats lost the, it don't say small hats, but it says small hats lost the war, Hamas won. The war honorably, you are a pig, Donald Trump, so on and so forth. So these things been popping up, but again, it's all part of making America and a white man seem like the victim so they can further like this. Oh, we need to shut down, our systems. We got airports getting hacked and all this and that and be scared and terrorists. They playing you people, man. Probably an Edomite in a control room on a PowerPoint, put a PowerPoint together and doing this. That's it. Come on, man. But other than that, that's just show you they pushing towards chaos. They want to divide the people against the government so it could be a clash, man. So they could bring in order out of chaos.
Yep.
You see? Oh, the brother said it wasn't showing the screen. Oh, let me see. Slack it, I'm dealing with a new laptop, so share screen. Forgive me, brothers. It's in the chat too. It's in the chat if y'all want to see it. This is what we was looking at right here. So Salakia. This is what we was reading. Forgive me, I'm gonna throw it in the chat again, but all these what we touching on is already in the description box if brothers want to go back to it. I'm gonna put it in the chat so y'all can check it out. Salakia, I thought we were sharing. But we can get to the last portion of the lesson. And it's going into the MOTB system. Now, we got mostly videos other than articles, so we'll let the videos play. And at any time at the top of the pod, let me know if you have anything.
Yeah, come on.
But what's going on right now? So right now, when it should end today, it should have ended today. What's happening, you got the World Economic Forum in the UAE in accordance with many countries, I think like 95 countries, but they've been sitting together and they've been talking about a new cyber order. Now, before all hell break loose, before the whole world go digital, these governments have to make sure they're on the same page, right? So I'm gonna let this video play because this guy, a part of the World Economic Forum, he gonna say we already in a new order. And then after that, we got a video of Gerald Salente. We'll play this one on the difference between digital IDs, just a little bit, and this video right here. It ain't gonna be too much longer, Zaquan.
Oh no, yeah, you good, bro.
But I read the header for this one. It says the UAE and the World Economic Forum to host Global Future Council's Cybersecurity 2025 Summit featuring 700 experts from 93 countries. And guess what they talking about? Guess what the main point? And it's 6 points. It will be number 6 too. It says the event features 37 councils in total, and it covers 6 main topics: technology, economy, society, environment, governance, and health. And that all says MOTB. That's what that just spelled, MOTB. But we'll go ahead and play a little bit of this video right here, and then we'll get Gerald Salente and let him rock.
You to the opening plenary session for the annual meetings of.
I ain't gonna stop it no more. I'm gonna just let it play. But what this Indian dude gonna say? He gonna say, we see America. He ain't gonna say that in my words, but he gonna say we see America falling, and all nations are in a race to see who gonna lead the digital system. And that's when the dude from the WF gonna say we already in a new order.
Of the Global Future Councils and Cybersecurity Summit here today. So our topic here today for the next 50 minutes or so is the new cyber order, cooperation amid turbulence. I'm going to save a little bit of time to bring you in on the conversation. I know all of you are also real experts in this area. On the topic at hand, I think the turbulence part of what we're here to talk about is very clear to all of you. We've just had some good news in the world from Gaza and Israel, but there's no doubt that the world itself has been in a period of really heightened conflict now for several years. And if I were to think about why that is the case, one reason at the very least is that as China's risen as a global power, there's a sense that the old unipolar moment, the era of, clear and unfettered American dominance, is giving way to something else. We don't quite know what that something else is, but it's clear that there's sort of change in the air. And, with that feeling, you have countries and companies and entities of all sorts jostling for space,
wrestling for power, in other words.
For power, jostling for influence. And, that sort of jostling, it involves a scramble for everything from energy to critical minerals to human capital. But of course, it also involves the race for dominance in AI and the cyber domain. And so with that backdrop, that's what we're here to talk about in this session. When you have a new sort of cyber order that everyone is jostling over, what does that mean? What is this cyber order?
Man, I wish I would have saved that second Ezra 15 for now, because that's what's happening. Second Ezra said they was going to fight over the power, of the new world, so to speak.
Yep.
Order. What kinds of rules are there? How do the protectors stay ahead of the attackers? Where does AI fit into this? How do states and companies cooperate to guarantee security? There's so many big questions that we all have on our minds. Thankfully, I don't have to answer them, but we have this great panel here. So let's dive right in. Jeremy, I'm going to start with you. Help us just frame this a little bit. What is a cyber order? Are we in some sort of a new cyber order in the last few years?
Yeah, I would say, thank you, Ravi. I would say we're definitely in a new order here. You spoke to the volatility, you spoke to the challenges.
That's it. That's all we really want to play. And it's the dude he the general man, not the general manager, but general something of the WF. He said we already in a new order, but people don't see it. Let's go ahead and play this quick video from now the page is ITM Trading with Daniela Camboni. And you have as a special guest our boy Gerald Salente. So we're going to let this one play. Elder Tazapah, if you have anything, I got a few timestamps, maybe 2 of them. But other than that, they said some good stuff. Now, the title is Gold Price Soars as Mexico rolls out biometric banking. The United States is next with the Genius Act. Let's go ahead and play it. Let's see. Let me refresh my screen. Pull this next one up. There we go. All right, here we go.
Biometric CURP or CURP ID rolling out nationwide to track everything from banking to healthcare. The world is racing towards a surveillance economy. Now in the U.S.
So add that one to the list. We know it's the UK, Russia, remember every phone in Russia it come already automatically with the digital ID app. You got to get on there. You see, many other places, but now add Mexico in there. They're going digital too.
US, the freshly signed Genius Act is tightening the screws.
Let me play it back in our
From
America.
Vietnam's shutdown of over 86 million bank accounts for failing biometric verification to Mexico's new mandatory biometric CURP or CURP ID rolling out nationwide to track everything from banking to healthcare. The world is racing towards a surveillance economy. Now in the US, the freshly signed Genius Act is tightening the screws on digital assets with anti-money laundering rules that experts say could soon mandate biometrics for everyday finance, eroding privacy one scan at a time. Joining us today to unpack this global trend toward financial control and what it means for your freedom is my friend Gerald Celente. He's a renowned trend forecaster and the publisher of the Trends Journal. Gerald, I know you've been writing about this for a long time, but it's all coming together now. The question is, how quickly does it come here?
It could come tomorrow. I mean, think of the word stable coin. Orwell couldn't come up with a better name. Who made up this crap? Stable coin. CBDC, central bank digital currencies. We know every penny is spent, what you spent it on, when you spent it, and where you spent it. And most importantly, by knowing that, we get every penny for tax dollars, so we could steal all the money from you that we can. They're going to go digital currencies. We wrote about this years ago. One of the covers of our Trends Journal magazine was from dirty cash to digital trash. They're going to use this also as a way to bring down the debt crisis. This new digital coin now is worth X amount more than the dollar, the euro, the this or the that.
Yep.
Everything is going digital. Again, you have to make connections between different fields. Hey, how about AI? Day after day after day after day, how many jobs are going to be lost with AI? What's AI going to do? Everything is going digital. And it's the new world order. So what Mexico is doing, well, the UK is doing the same thing. Facial recognition. Arresting people. Because they say, oh, yeah, they got facial recognition. You committed this crime way back when or then or thou. So everything is going to digital. The governments are going to have complete control over the people. And so what Vietnam's doing, what Mexico's doing, what the UK is doing, and what the United States is going to do is the future. You know, there's a couple of articles about how we're losing our freedom. By the way, the American people don't believe anything until they see it on television. Richard Nixon said that. Oh, the warmonger who gave you the part of the Vietnam War, that guy? Oh, yeah. How about this one? We'll know our disinformation program is complete when everything the American public believes is false. Who would say something like that? Hitler? No. William J. Casey, the CIA director, 1981. All right? This thing has been in plan for a long time. There's no freedom anymore. The government controls us. Do what you're told. Hey, once upon a time, there was a thing called We the People of the United States. Not we the people anymore. Me the politician. Hey, remember when the politicians were public servants? No, we're not public servants. You, the people of Slavelandia, are the servants. You got it?
Gerald, if we are, there's nothing stopping us heading towards this surveillance economy as you've been warning us about. And I just want to highlight one point, because I know some people on the Vietnam news will say, oh, those were inactive bank accounts they closed. No, they're not. They're hiding behind.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that one before. I missed it the first time, but that's something to look into. I mean, it's something that she just made up, I guess. But surveillance economy, because that's where everything is going. But that's the new economy that's coming. It's surveillance. Yeah, that just caught my interest right there. But I'll read this before you go ahead. This is Proverbs 20 and 23. Divers weights are an abomination unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, and a false balance is not good. All right. So you heard Gerald, he was absolutely correct. He come up with these these bars, but that's exactly what we was dealing with, dirty cash, and then he said to digital trash. But right, why was the cash dirty? Because it was a false, well, yeah, it's a false balance. It's actually fraud. When it ain't even a balance because it's debt. But in essence, it's a false balance with this debt attached to it, tied to it. And so people they gather this money, they think they got actual money, they think they have riches or wealth, and that's the deception through that false balance. And so the Most High say divers weights, and that's the whole purpose of a digital currency. That you can have it today and then you don't have it tomorrow. And you ain't spent nothing, you ain't did nothing. But it gives them the ability to play the Most High. They can give it and they can take it away when they get ready. All right? That's a diver's weight. When you get $1, you're supposed to have $1. You're supposed to know what that is. Okay, this is 4 bits, 4 quarters. This is $1. I got 4 quarters in here, 10 dimes. All right, 20 nickels. You know what it is, but not no more. Yeah, you can get them same quarters and nickels and dimes, but it ain't worth the same. All right, but go ahead. This is where all of this is going. All right, this is where all this is going, based off that Federal Reserve note, which is what Gerald was talking about. They just want to take it to the next level. All right. They controlled everybody through debt and credit through this Federal Reserve note. Now they're getting ready to do it on a cyber scale. All right. Go ahead.
That's right.
You're a slave. So welcome to Slavelandia.
Well, tying this back to biometric surveillance, we know it's not just going to track our money, it can monitor our movements.
We know it's not just going to track our money, as they will make you think, but your movements, and they'll go into it a little bit.
Everything.
Our associations, as you say, chilling free speech by linking it to suspicious activity. We've seen this in Canada again. This is a big one. This is a big question, but how do you see this eroding First Amendment rights in the U.S.?
It's gone. They're already gone. I'm just telling you. You got this clown car saying what should be said. Oh, I forgot that other one, Bondi, the Attorney General, about hate speech. You're not allowed to say, I can't say I hate you for war. No, that's hate speech. It's right in front of our eyes. I'm not making this up. They're saying it. First Amendment rights are gone. Well, again, one of our constitutional rights after another are gone. It's a you being a lady from Rome, with a Roman heritage. There was a guy by the name of Mussolini, right?
Yes.
Oh, they're doing these deals with Intel and all these other companies that the United States is getting involved in, buying parts of it. What did he call the merger of state and corporate powers? Fascism? Corporatism? Right in front of our eyes. Right in front of our eyes. They're taking over. They control everything. Again, like as I say, when I was a young kid, there were fish stores, grocery stores, shoe stores, Stationery stores, drugstores, hardware stores, now they're all chains. The big zone everything. Again, according to some data, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street control or own almost 88% of the S&P 500.
I'm gonna jump a little bit,
The big zone everything.
and we can move on.
Vietnam, it was
Video.
important to highlight Mexico because both these stories were no.
Yeah, this
Well,
important.
that's their
right here.
lives.
Yeah, this is the last segment of this part, and we can move on.
Social
He's
media
just
is the
like
new-
us.
Yeah, it's the new. It's again. It's that quote I read from you about what Nixon said about TV. It's the same thing with social media. They make you believe it, and again, the young people, that's their lives. And again, everything's going to go AI. Everything's going to go surveillance, and everything is going to go from dirty cash to digital trash. The world is going to go
Yep,
CBDC.
it's coming. Well, that's why I said it was important to highlight Vietnam. It was important to highlight Mexico because both these stories were nowhere on mainstream media. Nowhere.
Nowhere. And
Nowhere.
here's another nowhere. Go back to Monday when gold prices shot up over $70 an ounce. Go back to all the week that when it went up $62 one day, but not one major story on CNBC on their homepage about
Zero.
gold. Read
Zero.
the New York Times, read the Wall Street Journal, read the Financial Times.
I don't know what.
Or,
I know.
I again wrote about in the magazine when gold prices spiked. It was the last article, the last.
I don't know where that part at. I think I probably got my timestamp wrong. But we can move on if you
What are
want
we
to.
talking about?
She just highlighted Mexico, but he was going into how the CBDC is coming in America. That's the point I really hear. Like CBDC is coming in America. It's happening in China, so on and so forth. Mexico is coming to America next. That's really the main point. But I mean,
Yeah, he said something similar to that, but I don't know if that's what you was alluding to.
That's probably was. But we could wind it down. I'm gonna play this quick and then we can end it off. So this is
Sure,
from
sure.
this is the dark reality of digital IDs. This is what you played at your crib last night, Advertiser Power. A portion of what you played. This is from 9 days ago, right?
So,
Now, I'm gonna play a little bit of this, but I got the whole transcript. Shamala, and the water to that brother, he sent me the transcript of what they talked about in this video. So we're gonna read the transcript after we play about 2 minutes, and we'll get straight to it in the transcript. But let me play this quick video real quick, and let's see, call it a day. Let's see, remove this one, screen, share screen, go. Boom. All right, so let's play a few minutes of this. The dark reality of digital IDs they don't want to discuss. All roads lead to the MOTB.
Permission to drive. A passport is something you use to travel, but you don't have to have those things. The difference with the digital ID is, and Keir Starmer has said that it will be mandatory, and by using your facial biometric, the government will be able to access.
What is the best argument for digital ID?
Well, it's definitely not about immigration. Reality of the impact of digital ID schemes around the world is never really spoken about. The Aadhaar scheme in India has led to numerous deaths.
Can you tie this together with CBDCs?
The reason that some governments have taken an interest in CBDCs is for things like automating taxes, but also that you can make the digital currency programmable. The government can force banks to monitor all of their customers. People have been cut off from financial services as well.
What's the latest with facial recognition from the police?
Police have persisted and really trained algorithms on the general public over time to the point where it is quite accurate now. Do we want to live in a total policing environment like that where we're constantly being scanned and watched? They're treating the British public like we're idiots and trying to force an extraordinary surveillance system on us on the premise of a lie.
How exactly is this defeated?
Well, obviously, I'm going to say...
Right, now let's read the transcript real quick on what they talked about in this video. Come on, man, pop up. All right, here we go. So I don't know if y'all can see this, but the first thing it says, immigration argument is false. Digital ID won't stop boats or illegal work, and they're gonna push that. We need to find out who's citizens, but that still ain't gonna stop who illegal and who coming in and who not. It says fake IDs and cash work already bypass current laws. It says CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, the digital money issued by a central bank tied to a digital ID. And it's programmable. It have programmable spending. For example, like you can only buy fruit, like now with WIC, food stamps, you can only buy certain things. Facial recognition, debanking, they went into it, online safety. And there's one part I want to get the difference between a digital ID and like a regular ID. I think she went into that because, in other words, a regular ID and a passport, what she said, a regular ID and a passport, that's optional. You don't have to have a passport. You don't have to have, certain things. But this digital ID, you're going to need that to work. You're going to need that to get by in society. This is not optional. You don't have like a passport. I don't travel, so, I ain't really got mine. No, you got to have this. Right? It says the digital ID could be required for opening social media, accessing online content, risk, free speech, and end of anonymous speech, and tied to disinformation and policing and censorship, man. So this is what we coming to. I mean, it's clear to see, if you want to know. But we could end it off on his last video at the top of the pod, and that's pretty much it. I see brothers got precepts. I get a call. Precepts real quick. Let's see. This is a brother Lamad. Revelation 3:10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And that's that when everybody get tried, when the system be mandated, whether they're going to take the MOTB or not. But we'll wind it down in this video. Now, the Apostle Tahal, he was the first one that touched on this from the Jimmy Dore. Is it Dore or Dory? I know you.
Yeah, Dore.
Yeah, Jimmy Dore show. And the title was The Next Global Freakout. Now, the Apostle Tahal, he hit on it. So we're just going to play it. But just to show you, this is where it's going, man. All roads lead to chaos, and chaos going to lead to the MOTB.
Or perhaps not go for the other pandemic aspect, but they'll aim for other ways to control the narrative. The aim for ways to control the individual through artificial intelligence powered. The combination of artificial intelligence, Jimmy, with digital ID cards, that is a pretty frightening combination.
How do we stop this from happening again? What happened during COVID where people lost their jobs, people got locked down, people were forced to take experimental medical treatment, people were censored for telling the truth about COVID. I mean, just a myriad of horrible things happening because of a COVID, which Bill Gates and others now admit was not a dangerous virus. It had a very low infection fatality rate, and it was more like a flu, yet they did this to us. What do we need to see happen so this doesn't happen again?
Yeah. I mean, we know a lot of people are interested in the control agenda, in the financial readjustment agenda, enriching particular individuals. And I think the particular pandemic scenario that we've seen, they're not going to go for the same playbook again. They're probably going to go for a different one. And we've got to be on our toes to look out for the way that these people are going to seek to control us and control global finances. But they'll probably be trying something different. So they'll probably aim for something that gives the same end, but they'll use a different methodology to do it, because they've kind of played the pandemic card. So what are they going to play next? I don't know. They're going to play the threat of war pandemic, or the threat of civil war pandemic, or the terrorism thing, or are they going to do that? But at the moment, they're still fiddling around with gain-of-function research in laboratories around the world.
Yes.
This is still happening. Now, the gain-of-function research that produced the SARS coronavirus 2 was probably not overt genetic engineering viral research. It was probably multiple generations of viruses and kind of a guided evolution. So they'd find out a virus that infected human cells a little bit.
Last night,
Mm-hmm.
You know, Fauci dusted off them notes, and him and Dr. Gallo, and they built on that, where they had created the HIV and AIDS. They just built on that. So he just said it.
Yep.
No, you good. You good.
More effectively, so they'd like breed that virus up, if you like. It's a bit like breeding dogs. You know, if you want a dog to run fast, then you know, over 100 generations, you select dogs with longer legs. Or, you know, if you want a dog to smell to rat out, to fish out rats or something, you breed up terriers. You know, we can breed up all these different sorts of dogs. You can do much the same with viruses. I suspect that's the way that happened with the SARS coronavirus too. And that's still happening. But there's also overt genetic manipulation of essentially synthetic viruses, a virus that never occurred in nature. Now, it is quite possible that there could be a virus escapes from a lab that kills, make up a number, 70, 80, 90% of people that infects. That is possible. And it's also possible that that virus could spread really, really quickly. And what I've thought is, you know, we have this saying, cry wolf, don't we? What I've thought is, you know, if such a virus came out, would people believe it? I think a lot of people wouldn't. So, you know, if such a virus comes out, it could be possible that you and I'd have to make videos saying, look, you know, I've talked to some of the world's leading.
And what he's going into again is the title is The Next Global Freakout. How something need to happen in order for them to bring forth this CBDC, digital ID, so on and so forth. And it says, don't fall for it.
Experts about this, which I would do straight away.
He said it could be another CV type situation or something else.
I'd be on the phone straight away. And to tell you the truth, there is a virus spreading from country X that does kill 50% of people that it infects, that does spread as quick as the SARS coronavirus 2 did. Therefore, there's a real threat that this is going to kill half of the population of our countries. That is not inconceivable, given that viruses are weaponized for essentially military purposes. That existential threat remains. So, you know, I'm hoping that's a video I never have to make. I really hope it isn't. But it is possible.
Well, they're bringing digital IDs to the UK now.
Don't start me. Don't start me on digital ID. Everyone in the UK is going to get a digital ID card, as far as we know. It's going to be linked to probably everything. The petition against it is on, I think it's getting on for 3 million signatures of people that have, you know, voted against it now. But all that does is get you a parliamentary debate. But the current government has got such a large majority that basically they can pass whatever they want. You know, they're weaponizing aspects of the power of the state against the individual. And when the power of the state is arrayed against the individual, there's very little you can do about it. I actually went down to this march. I was in London I meant to tell you this at the start, actually. I went down to the march in London on the 13th of September, the Freedom of Speech March. But the night before, I went to the Charlie Kirk vigil in London. It started in Whitehall outside the Montgomery, General Montgomery statue, and went down to Parliament Square. Very moving. Star Spangled Banner was sung in Parliament Square in my country. It was really a joke. But it shows the way that the narrative is being controlled. You know, so people will perhaps not go for the other pandemic aspect, but they'll aim for other ways to control the narrative. They aim for ways to control the individual through artificial intelligence powered. The combination of artificial intelligence, Jimmy, with digital ID cards, that is a pretty frightening combination. That's a bit of a morphine and midazolam combination. That, you know, it's the AI could empower the digital identity cards to intrude and control pretty well every aspect of life, potentially.
Well, they
every website you will be visiting.
You say something?
No, I didn't say nothing.
Okay, come.
It could be analyzed by AI, and you could flag up on someone's computer. You know, it's pretty frightening.
I mean, they can turn off your power to purchase, to buy gas, to pay bills. They can turn off your car now, right?
Turn off your credit. You turn off your credit card. I've already people have been denied bank accounts in my country, but they can turn off your credit. You know, your bank card. They can freeze your bank card. You know, I did a talk on this just a few days ago, and there's that verse in Revelation: "No man may buy or sell, save we have the number of the."
Come on, man. Everybody talking like Apostle Hall said. Everybody talking about the you know what. It's clear that the road is leading to the MOTB. You got this Edom, if you're Edomite, but it's Edomite quoting the scriptures, quoting prophecy. Why? Because it's speaking. It's speaking. Eventually, Bishop Nick will say, well, you know, I told you I could be they go, Chief even go pop up again with his $1,000 question. Everybody will be forced to see that this is the way it's going, man. It's prophecy.
Yeah. Oh, why you can't see?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, IUIC.
Right, you can't see. God. You know, but I mean, the video, he said a couple more things, but I mean, we could end it there. And just a quick little side note, put out October 11th. Neuralink reports 10,000 patients have now signed up for his brain chip. And another one, Walmart now partners with OpenAI so people can make purchases directly through ChatGPT. That's where it's going, man.
Hey.
Yup.
Hey.
That's where it's going.
So, you got something?
Yeah, I seen Daniela. We ended on this one. Revelation 12:12, the house scripture. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, and woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. You know, and it's clear to see he about to do what he can to keep his power in the earth, and that's whether he got to kill, rob, and continue to steal as he been doing, but he gonna step it up or not. But that was pretty much it, Zaquan. You could, take us out.
And I'll go out with that. All right. And knowing that the devil has come down having great wrath. All right. Those of us with faith in Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, we have hope. All right. So this is Psalm 91:1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. All right. So that's under the Most High's protection. All right. The secret place is this truth. The doctrine of 100% truth. All right. Like we go into every week, the testimony of Yahweh Shai, the spirit of prophecy, and the understanding of these scriptures and the breakdowns and the keeping to the very best of our ability of the law, statutes, commandments, and judgments. All right. That's the secret place of the Most High. This ain't, well, I'll put it this way. This is exclusive knowledge. All right. This ain't for the masses. All right. You have to be chosen. Verse 2 says, I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my power, in him will I trust. All right. So the Lord is going to be a refuge, a place of rest, comfort, safety for his children. Matter of fact, man, let me see if I can find the scripture right quick.
Read out.
But where was that? Okay, well, I'll go here right quick. This is Proverbs 18:10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. All right. So the righteous are those that's keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the very best of their ability. We know that Judges 5:11 says that they that are delivered from the noise of the archers, all right, meaning the nuclear destruction that's coming. It says, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts. All right. Right. So the righteous acts is being in obedience, ultimately being in obedience to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shah. All right. And to know what obedience is, you have to be in this word. So his name, which you have those who denied his name, those who have taught that his name doesn't matter. It's going to be all that matters coming up here real soon. All right. But some already, there's people already getting judged. They don't have a name. They don't have faith. And being judged. The brother, one of the brothers posted a video with his chick. I guess it was a storm or something. She in the house with her children, and they all scared to death with the children. I'm sure the mother was too. But the child said, I had a dream about this. And now it's happening. Now I'm scared. Or that's why I'm scared. So with me hearing that let me know the Most High is already terrorizing people in dreams and visions. Judgment is here. Most High, it ain't just what you see. Most High is plaguing men's hearts and minds. Well, their minds. Men's minds or hearts are being plagued right now. And then he bringing the judgment. And I'm indifferent to the shit because I dedicated the last 2 decades of my life to warn y'all. And hey, this is what it is. But right, Proverbs 18:10, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous, all right, the elect of the children of Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans predominantly, all right, they're clinging to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah for dear life, believing in this word for all that is worth. That's the righteous, all right? It said the righteous run it, into the name, and is safe. Because it's more than a name. It ain't just a name. It's what it represents something. It means something. All right. It's the very name of creation. So in that very name, Yahweh, Yah, He, Hawa, to be, Bahasham, in the name, Yahawashai, Yah, He, Hawashai, deliverer. In those names, all right, that one collective name, but those two names is life. Outside of it is death. That's why you want to run into that name. You can't, physically, literally run into a name. What is it talking about? Run into it. Right. Eat this whole scroll. Digest it. Let it become a part of you. You are what you eat. You're supposed to eat this roll, become one with this word. Develop the mind of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. This book is supposed to give you his mind to be a reflection of him. Then you can run into the name. But back in Psalm 91, it says, 91:2, I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge. See, you can run into that name. And my fortress, my power, in him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler. Esau is that fowler. And he's setting all type of snares with ice, with Tren de Agua and all these cartels. All right. They might be our terrorists on this side, who knows? But he's setting up snares for y'all, but not for the elect. It says, and from the noisome pestilence, and that's going to end all of this nightmare. It's going to end with a big ass bang in fervent heat. All right. And when the smoke clears and the dust settles, New Jerusalem is going to come down from heaven, hauling shots, pushing their weight around, bossing up. So yeah, you got it. You can carry on.
And with that, Lord willing, this lesson, this information was helpful, edifying. And the water to you, Akim, Aqua for tuning in, the water Akim for the precepts. And with that, we'll end it. And until next time, and we want to give all praise, honor, and glory once again unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to all you Akim out there. We're pushing this word with truth and sincerity, and as well as all you believers out there who believe on the gospel. You keep fighting, keep pushing, and we're almost out of here. And with that, shalom.
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 Shalom.